Hello everybody, ching ching, this is Seb here for something new. Haven't done this before. I'm calling it the P&E Gallery Feedback, the portfolio and exhibition feedback show. And welcome to underneath someone's bed. Could be worse, I could be in someone's bed, but no. And try and get a bit of light on me at the risk of being blinded. There we go. Okay. So yeah, this is something I decided to do. Let me just check, actually. I haven't checked to make sure the camera's working, obviously, and the audio is working. So we're good to go. So the idea is that I look at your photographs, your gallery photographs exclusively. And it's going to be fun. And I'm going to just give you some sort of standard feedback from Sab. And hopefully it'll be useful and interesting. So without further ado, we don't have to introduce each other. We know who we are. I'm going to look at your stuff. And there's two people who haven't got their gallery things in yet. I'm not naming and shaming because, we're all friends here. So Trish hasn't done it yet because she was very taken with her horse competition organization. Maybe you got a few benches. Do horses sit on benches? That'd be cool. And also Dorothy, who joined a few days ago. So wonderful to have you here, Dorothy. Old friend. I don't mean old. I mean, anyway, you know what I mean. And so we're 9, and then there were 9, which is great because when the pods change after the first break week, I'll put you into 3 pods of 3, which will be perfect. In the meantime, Dorothy joined the pod that I don't know. I'll work it out. I've just realized we've got 2 pods of 4, so it doesn't really matter which one you join. So I'm going to look at your photographs if all goes according to plan, and I'm going to do it like this. I broke my glasses again this week, so don't think I have anything else to tell you. So currently the gallery page looks like this. The main gallery page, which you can have access to, but this is not for everybody. This is just for you guys, because when you're on your own gallery pages, there aren't links back to everybody else's. That is so you can share your pictures with anyone you like, but they won't then see links to everybody else's photos in case other people don't want people to see their photographs. So I'll show you what happens if I click on Alice, for example. Here's one I prepared earlier. You jump to Alice's gallery, and there's been a couple of changes since last time. For a start, Alice, third time Alice. First time she did benches. Second time, oh God, she did letterboxes. Amazing gallery of letterboxes. American letterboxes are amazing. And then the third time now, she's gone for barriers, which is interesting because it's a wider theme, because you could call a fence a barrier. You could also call a lock a barrier, as she has done. So very interesting widening of the theme there. And Dorothy, I also recommend you don't do benches again, do something else. And if you're doing this for the first time, do benches, because it's I'm seeing some wonderful galleries, and we will see them now. By the way, I did put Alice's old photograph here, and then I took it away again because I thought I want everything to be new. This is a masterclass. We've just started. Everything, all the photographs should be new. No ones that you've taken, some you prepared earlier. No old portraits. Go out or go in and take a new photograph of yourself and put it in, give it to me, and I will put it where it says coming soon. When you click on this, it goes large. It's one of the reasons for this masterclass is to feel confident about showing your photographs, and that, I'm afraid, or I'm happy to say, includes you. I want you to be pleased to show photographs of yourself. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be a big thing, although it is part of this masterclass, but simply not to be timid about it, and also when you do show photographs of yourself from now on, they're ones that are not like they used to be. They are artistic ones. They're self-portraits. Let's forget the word selfies. They're self-portraits. I actually did an entire in-depth 5-day challenge on self-portraits, which you will have access to as part of this masterclass, but not quite yet, because I want you to concentrate on the masterclass. Yeah, so all your photographs I want to be special from now on. No more sad snaps. That was in the blurb, and I mean it. So I want an interesting portrait, new portrait of everybody to go where it says coming soon at the top of every single page in your gallery, please. It doesn't matter what you do. You don't, we haven't done any sessions on taking interesting self-portraits yet, although we might. But just use your imagination. Take a photograph of yourself, a selfie, but like you have never taken one before, and send it to me as soon as you can. Also, I want a mini bio. So if I go to the bottom of this page, skipping over Alice's photographs for the moment, or I can click on this button here. I can click on the one in the middle. It says Alice's mini bio. Boom, you go down to that. So I would like a bio. Okay, if you've done it already, you can just adapt it. If you haven't, please send me a bio. Write it in the first person. I forgot to tell Alice. She's written it in the second person. Alice has had a love of photography her entire life. Okay, I want it in the first person. It's not a job interview. Yeah, say I have had a love of photography all my life. Make it friendly, and please show these gallery pages, if you feel comfortable doing so, to the entire world, okay, if possible. Help us get the word out there. Help get the word out there that you are taking amazing photographs these days. Publish your photographs in all your feeds, and if you want to help me out, mention the masterclass too. There's another thing, masterclass home there. Actually, that doesn't go anywhere for the moment. It'll go somewhere soon, but it won't be back to the place where it won't be back here where you can see everybody's. But you have this address, okay? It's smartphone. It's infinitycoaching.biz/smartphone-photography-masterclass-June-2021-gallery. Just copy and paste. It's much easier. Okay, and so there is one more thing before I launch in, and that is a new thing. In this Your Colors band up at the top, I've put Alice Davitt, your photo quote goes here. What I would love would be a little phrase that indicates what photography means to you. So I'm not going to put words into your mouth, but something that, like, I want you to be original. I'm all about your creativity, not other people's. So invent some words which are your words. Why? What is it about photography? Why do you do it? What does it do for you? What are you hoping to share? How are you hoping to change people's lives with your photography, if you like? I'd love a little quote there. It could be from 5 to 10 words. I can put it on 2 lines there, you see, next to your name. So I'd love to have some really interesting little quotes from you, not from other people. I'm not interested in other people's creativity. I'm interested in your creativity. Okay, and by the way, if you want to comment, you can. It's that's okay. So Alice went for barriers, and I'm not going to look at every single photograph from everyone. Don't have time, but I'm just going to appreciate your stuff. So Alice is already a seasoned photographer, as she said, and she's got some lovely stuff here. By the way, if you want to comment, first of all, say hello if you're watching. If you're watching the replay, say hello. And also, if there's a photograph that you particularly like, please just say, I love, and give the name of the person and describe the photograph so that they can feel your appreciation too. So love this. By the way, do feel free to tell me what order you want your photographs in. Sometimes you can send me a screenshot of the way you've laid them out. Sometimes it doesn't come through like that. You can send them to me on Messenger or by email. Make sure they're 900 pixels on the longest side. That'll really help me. Okay, so barriers. We've got fences in the top, the middle top there. You click on them, they blow up. Isn't that cool? So please send people to your galleries. This one is impressive. Off to the side, with some very strong leading lines into these concrete things. It's not a glamorous barrier, is it? But it's definitely a barrier. I love the one in the middle, by the way. This is why I made this the cover shot for the gallery's post in the Facebook group. There's something about it. There's this repetition. There's the 3 orange things. One of them is absolutely slap bang in your face, and the other 2 complement it. And then you've got the repetition of the barriers as well, and the blue. So like 3 for the price of 1. Really love that photograph, Alice. And then the red barriers on either side. That's very pretty. Nice framing. We talk a lot about framing in the masterclass, and another one there. So yeah, I like that. They complement each other. There's scenes through them, and yet they're clearly barriers. And then a couple of fences up there, and then down. This is a different type of barrier, isn't it? With a code to get into, or to get out. Actually, it looks like a code to get out to freedom. Maybe it's a prison. And down in the left, barrier to a right. Oh, it looks like a fairy tale garden almost. And then on the right, a spider web cobwebs. How do you use the word cob? Spider web. You don't say spider cob, but you don't say, you say cobwebs. That's weird, isn't it? What does cobweb come from? And who's saying hello? All right, so Mary's saying hello. Hi, Mary. And Dorothy's saying hello. And Facebook user is saying hello. Facebook user, I don't know who you are. To let me know who you are, everybody, you go to I thought I had this. Anyway, you go to streamyard.com/Facebook, and you let them see see your name. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, do feel free to leave comments as often as you like. It makes it more interesting. Okay, so the next one is Alison. Alison, so happy to have you here. And Alison is she's so enthusiastic. I've hardly met anyone as enthusiastic and smiley as Alison. And she's gone for benches. And let's just absorb this this offering. And she's got some. Let's look at the one in the middle. Isn't that great? It's a great middle shot. I'm not sure if she gave it to me as the middle shot, but look at them. I immediately said that one must go in the middle. Why? Well, because it itself has got a middle, and it's got a middle inside the middle. If you look at this, it's a bench. We can see that. On the outside is the biggest round thing. In there is the second one, and through there is the third one. And for all I know, there's even a whole bunch more receding into the distance. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that a wonderful core photograph to go in the middle of this composition? And then, you know, Alison, I don't think you gave me an order, so I sort of did them in my own order. Please, guys, feel free to give me an order. I don't mean like go away or words to that effect. I mean, give me an order to your photographs. If you want to do 9, I will display them normally in this 3x3 grid. It's just easier. So counting from the, very traditional, from the top left being 1, going across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if you want to give me that order, that would help me a lot. You don't have to, you can let me do it, but obviously, in fact, we talk about the composition of putting photographs together much later, maybe in week 9. But feel free to start telling me what order you'd like them in. So we've got little cute benches in parks. We've got a bench which is almost hidden. Isn't that interesting? The bench isn't sharp, it's just lurking in the background, giving a sort of ambience, whereas the flower is sharp. A very fancy looking pavilion there. Feel free, by the way, if I look at your photographs, feel free to make comments on them. If I'm asking myself questions, feel free to fill me in and let me know. This is pretty cool, isn't it? What's it looking over? Looks like it's looking over a port with a lighthouse or something. Very pretty. And those legs are great. You can go for details. It doesn't have to be the whole thing. In fact, the whole thing is often boring because that's the standard, my classic. Oh, look, pretty thing. Lifts phone or camera to eye level, looking straight ahead, and clicks. Ta-da! Boring shot. So can you imagine Alison groveling around on her knees underneath the bench with a bum up in the air maybe, and people looking at her thinking, oh, that poor woman, she's lost something, or or she's drunk and she can't stand up, and all she's doing is getting under the skirts of this bench that has these amazing sculptured tree-like, triffid-like iron, very vegetal, isn't it? Vegetal legs. I don't blame you for getting down on your knees there. Great, love it. And some others. Slap bang on the corner there, trying lots of interesting angles. Alison, got some ambience there. It's on the sand. God, is this where you live? The Wirral you live, don't you? And then finally, You know, completely different type of bench with a bit of color coordinated drink there in the background. Very good composition, very great contribution. Love it. Dorothy saying yes. Oh, hang on. I am in from 2 units. Okay. And she's saying yes. Hello again. It was Facebook user. Hello, Thomas. Good to have you here. Yeah, please give me comments or questions. Otherwise, I'll be rambling to myself. All right, who's next? Next is Kathy. All right, so I'm got to get used to your photographs, Kathy. You're new to my universe. And by the way, don't forget, everyone, I need a photograph, an interesting self-portrait or selfie, and a mini bio in the first person. And I also need a quote, some few words from yourself, your words about what photography is for you, why you're doing this course, or what effect you would like your photos to have in the world. So, Kathy, some great benches. Lovely variety there, just taking it in as a whole. I put this one in the middle. I can't remember if you gave me an order or not, but very cute little bench there, isn't it? It's ornamental by the looks of it. It's got its own Buddha. Is that in your garden, Kathy? Impressive view over a rather impressive bridge there. I'd like to be sitting on that bench. I love sitting on benches, writing, stuff like that. Now this apparently is a part of the bench, this doggy, which is nice. Sometimes, you know, in some places, I think you guys actually, someone has given me a bench where there's actually a sort of iron figure, a sculpture sitting on the bench, and you can sit next to them, which is cool. This channel thing almost frames the little doggy, doesn't it, in a way? Fills in that bit of sky. That's a beautiful one. Is this near where you live, Kathy? Gorgeous tree as well. Yeah. And then you've got a couple of benches sort of lost in nature, which is nice too. Incredibly simple benches, and yet look at this spectacular view. Honestly, tell me, is this where you live, or are you on holiday? Because if this is your back garden, I'm envious. Now, I'm not doing much crit here, you know, much criticism, like constructive criticism or anything. But the simplicity of this is interesting, isn't it? It's very, very simple. You've got the bench, you've got the grass, you've got the sort of trees behind. And, you know, no doubt you're aware it's a very simple photograph. Simple can be wonderful. Too complicated can be less wonderful because you don't know what to look at. And I'm not sure if it's this week. Probably, no, I don't think it is this week. I think it's the first week of module 3. We will be looking at subjects, the vital importance of the subject of the photograph, and how to make, you know, the subject as interesting as possible, and other stuff too. So this will be one to bear in mind for that. Obviously, the subject is the bench, and we can see where we can go from here. Yeah, we looked at that one. Oh, look at this. You know, size matters, folks, but it can matter in inversely proportional ways. What I mean is, if you make the thing which is clearly the standout thing very small, it can actually be more powerful than if it's big. So we've got a little bench here, which is dwarfed by nature. Well, it's not very big in the picture, and that almost makes it, you know, almost poignant. You know, this little bench, humble little bench, looking out over this vast sort of vista, and it's nicely positioned off to the left. I like that. And finally, there's a bench. Is it the same one? It's the same one, isn't it? The little bench in the distance. The risk would be that the foreground is just incredibly boring and the bench doesn't really play any part. But you've cleverly got this bunch of flower things sticking up, which perfectly fills in that. It's in between the bottom third and the middle third, isn't it? Without that, it would have been a whole load of green. But with those flowers, it really changes everything. So well done for getting that. Any comments here? Give me comments, folks. Give me comments. So lovely. Well done, Kathy. Very nice. Loretta. I didn't click on the things here. So Loretta's been out there benchifying stuff, and another nice selection. So the main thing for this is as well It's your first week. So the idea is to practice getting out there, to practice not being worried about your shots, you know, not being, you know, oh, is this good enough? Will Sab like it? You know, will other people laugh? All that sort of stuff. I'm not saying you did think that, but a lot of people do. They worry about these things. And I'm saying don't. I'm saying to be successful in this exercise is to have done it. The only criterion for succeeding is to have done the exercise. If you don't do it, then you didn't succeed. I'm not saying you failed, but you didn't succeed. And you're here to succeed. And my definition of success is you did the exercise. The results are the results. They're to learn from, they're to inspire others, give other people ideas. They're to, you know, when you're in action, you're moving forward and you're learning. There's no perfect photograph and there's no crap photograph. There's just photographs. So, you know, I don't know why I came out with that on this particular set. No reason whatsoever. So, you know, loads of benches, getting out there, look at this. There's a shadow in there. Shadows, very important in photographs, folks. What else? You know, she's been brave enough, because it almost takes bravery, doesn't it? A lot of people might think it's silly to take a weird bench at an angle, not all of it, and you know, so it's in a way it's daring to be different. Here's using the same bench as a framing device. So you've got the pattern of the bench, and then you've got a lovely hinted at landscape behind. This is a bench with a lovely detail on it. In the middle, cushions on a bench. Interesting angle. I think I was going on about angles, wasn't I, at some point? So I think that's sunk in. And hardly anyone is taking benches straight on. That's very good to see. I think if you remember my Eiffel Tower bench photo, where I took it at the extreme angle and how impressive it was. It was a boring green slatted bench, and yet you take it from an extreme angle and you get close it, excuse me, you get close in. Suddenly, it's not so boring, is it? Not many people have got people sitting on benches, by the way. That's interesting, isn't it? And I mean, you can, if you're with someone, turn them into a prop. You know, tell them to sit on the bench. They don't have to be. The danger is you might think it's a picture of a person instead of a picture of the bench. You could have them turning away. You could take them from behind, sitting on the bench. Because if you don't, the bench will become less of the subject and it'll be more about the person. So this is an interesting balance to grasp. If the assignment's about benches, then the bench should be clearly the subject. So people are a bit dangerous in that respect, because they could take over. And oh, that's very sweet. 3 benches, yeah. If there weren't 3, I mean, it could be a little lone bench looking over a beautiful thing. The benches are nicely framed by this overhanging gnarled tree limb as well, which is nice. Yeah, very nice, Loretta. Need your mini bio, Loretta, please. Get to know you a little bit more. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? I'd love to sit on that bench. And yeah, great. Okay, next. Any comments? Nobody's giving me any comments. You guys who are watching, and if you're watching on the replay as well, let me know, for each person, let me know which shot you particularly like. So, and go and look at them as well in real life in the galleries, and you know, comment, say, you know, for which particular person it is and which particular shot, if there is one that you love. Mary, let's look at yours. It should be coming. Okay, it's not loading. I wonder why. It must be a naughty link. Let's see if I can get that in another way. I hope I can call it benches. Yeah, there we go. All right, drink it in, folks. Drink it in. Oh, sorry, I've been big. Yuck. I hope that didn't detract from your experience of Loretta's benches. Oh well. Right, now I don't think I was given an order to put your photographs in. Some nice variety. There's a statue, you see, there's a statue of that you could sit next to. Isn't that cool? So basically, as to all intents and purposes, it's just a seat. It's not really, you could maybe squeeze 2 people in there. That's really great. I love that. Take nice angle there. You did manage to chop his fingers off there. You'll get used to me talking about chopping bits of people's bodies off. Just saying. Oh, look at this, incredible! Look at that shot. Echoes slightly Alison's one, doesn't it? And somebody else's as well, I think. That's really wonderful. Isn't that cool? You could have someone. I can almost imagine someone sitting there. If they were sitting, you might get all just the side of their leg and their back. But I can almost imagine doing something with this, it's almost a frame begging for something to be in that frame, you know, like a little animal or something. No, that's last a person, a human. There you go, nice young lady, from behind, but her face is in profile, but you know, maybe it's someone you know, maybe it isn't, but it's not clearly a portrait of that person. So it's just a nice scene on what looks like a nice warm day. This is an interesting shaped bench taken from the side. Nice, comes nicely towards us, doesn't it? And what else? This looks like the same style of bench somewhere else. Great angle work, going crazy with those angles. Can you imagine if you'd taken this straight on? It would have been much less interesting than this. Some sort of bag there. Oh, that's the thing that holds the umbrella. Okay, I'm a bit of a stickler for detail, and one of the classic mistakes, or you know, amateur mistakes that people will make is when they take a photograph, they won't look elsewhere than at the subject. And you know, and I do go into details on this later, and it's quite funny. But you know, you'll have people and they'll, for example, it's COVID times, right? We've got masks, but we're starting to be able to take them off. And I see so many photographs these days. People have taken off the mask for the photograph, but they're still holding the damn mask. You know, you want to look back in years to come. You don't want people or everybody holding blue masks, do you? Okay, 1 or 2, yeah. But you know, let's face it. You know, so anything that detracts from the photograph. That, remember, this is photographs last. And you don't want a whole bunch of beautiful photographs where everybody's holding a mask, a blue mask in their hand. And it goes for all sorts of stuff. Bags which have been put down by their feet, rubbish bins in the background, all sorts of examples of that. So that's why my eye was caught by this thing. I was wondering if it was someone's bag that had been left in the shot, gloriously, you know, photographed for all of eternity. And it's not. It's the bottom of the umbrella thing. You might ask yourself if you want to hide that or not. There are ways of doing that. And this lovely lone bench in the middle of nowhere. Interesting composition. Middle, a third in from the left, from the right. Yeah, interesting. Okay. I'd love to know the story about that. I'd love to know what you were thinking when you took that photograph, if you were trying to show something in particular. Okay, still not getting any comments. I'm thinking that's because you're either all asleep, you've gone away, or you don't have anything to say. But maybe you're just enraptured by my commentary here. And this one, let's not forget this one, which is completely different to all the others. There's someone on the bench. It's a couple of seats, or is it a bench? Yeah, a couple of seats. Is it a bus stop? And really interesting background, isn't it, for this guy? Surrounded by this mosaic of old photographs by the looks of things, and he's lovely, he's nicely centered. You know, there's a time for centering, there's a time for not centering, and you've taken this shot absolutely face on. He's in the middle of it, and that's fine. You know, you will hear people, including me, talking, especially in the composition module, talking about composition, and one of the main things about composition is, where do you put the subject? And I won't go into details now, but just remember this photograph, and then we'll come back to that later. Very nice. Thanks, Mary. Great start. Let's look at the second last one that I'm going to look at today. That's Nazanin. Nazanin, friend of mine from originally from Iran, spent a lot of time in the UK with her mother over the COVID times, and now she's back in my neck of the woods, and I keep threatening to go for a walk along the river with her, which I will one of these days. And she lives in an area called I'm not sure actually, but lovely old houses, and it's part of the river, the Marne. I think it's the Marne, which meets the Seine before it goes into Paris, through Paris. There's some lovely old houses. They have these things called les guinguettes, and it's where people would drink and eat and make merry and dance by the banks of the river. Very nice. And she's gone. I'm really happy, Nazanin. You've chosen something which we're calling marquise. In French they say j'ai cassé ma tête. I broke my head looking for the English equivalent. I just did it again with my friend, and because I saw a lovely one where I am right now, which is in Fontenay-sous-Bois, and it's these lovely little glass thingies over doorways. They're often in Art Nouveau style, and I've been looking for. In the end, I just went with marquise because in English we have the word marquee, but it's more like a thing you erect for like a wedding reception outside. And then there's porches, but porch isn't exactly it. There's awnings, that isn't exactly it. There's canopies, that isn't exactly it. There's overhangs, which is completely unglamorous. So I'm going with marquise for the moment. And there's a challenge with this because, well, what do you think the challenge is? Let me show you some of these, and tell me what the challenge is with taking good shots of these. They're really beautiful, lovely little structures, very delicate. Can you see it? There it is. Right in the middle. Can you guess what the challenge is? There's a dog. That's so cool. looking like the prince of this place, isn't it? Whoa, me and my marquise. Marquise is also the name of one of those ranks of royalty as well. Okay, there's a very, very modern one. And there's another of those fancy houses. Oh, it's making me want to go back there again. And a few more. All right, so the challenge is, here we got some comments. Wait a minute. Mary says, no comments because I'm busy listening. Busy listening. Yeah. You're a woman, aren't you? Can't you do more than one thing? I'm a man. I can't even do one thing at a time. This is a bus stop. Okay, it's a bus stop. Yeah. Remember this photograph. It'll be very, very interesting when we look at this in terms of composition. And by the way, there is absolutely nothing wrong. Wrong is a strange word, isn't it? Because it's all about personal tastes, and if you like it, it's good. But when we look at composition, you'll enjoy looking at that shot in particular. Well, I'm glad you're listening, Mary. I love this bus stop pic with the man waiting, looking to the side. Yeah, it's really good, isn't it? And the challenge is she couldn't come near, says Thomas, and closer. Well, I would say that is a challenge, yeah. And I must admit, this is actually quite characteristic of Nazanin's photographs. She wanders, Nazanin, you wander around a lot and you take nice photographs of things. But often the things you take are from a distance. And especially with these, they're lovely details. It'd be nice to see one of these things like this, filling the entire frame. You know, forget all the house and everything, you know, try and get, and yet you're quite far away. You're probably at the end of their garden with a barrier between you and their garden and then the thing. So it's a challenge. If your camera is good enough quality, you can use your longest lens. If it's got several lenses, I've got a feeling you've got a nice camera. And even if you crop in, which we talk about that this week, I think, or maybe in module 3, there might be enough quality for you to do that. But still, yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. But well done for choosing such an original topic. Look at this one. You've really framed the house nicely. It's a perfect round frame. You're very good at that. Framed on the bottom with the gate, over the top with the leaves. There's still a bit of blue sky around the house. Very nice. And you've put a bit of a white vignette on this one. I like the blue sky goes nicely with the red windows, the red shutters, and there's a cute little marquee thing. Okay, so great, well done, and another original theme. And let's finish off with, last but not least, Thomas, Sir Thomas. Okay, and Thomas has gone for, I'm very happy with what you've done here, Thomas. He's gone with Alice's pet topic, which is lamps. And well done. Now Thomas is bringing the wealth of his, not only at least one masterclass, I don't think you were with me on the first, oh god, I can't remember, and you're publishing photographs every day. So you have been developing your style nicely over the last few months, Thomas, and we're getting some very sophisticated compositions here. And at first I put them up in a composition, I didn't realize there was a certain way that you'd put them together, so I put them together a bit randomly, and then I saw a grid which was how you wanted them, and it all made sense. Because if you look at this, folks, it's really beautifully put together. You've actually got a cross of darker photographs. They're not black, some of them are black and white, and yet some of them have got hints of color. This top left one, I would say, is black and white. This one on the top right isn't. There's hints of stuff around the horizon, which is the house and the sky. This bottom left one, I'm seeing something again. Look at that gorgeous, absolutely beautiful photograph. There's hints. It's black and white with hints of beigey, sort of creamy sepia stuff. That is absolutely gorgeous, and there's a very interesting angle as well, funky angle. And then the top left and the bottom right are purely black and white, and I'm guessing that's not coincidence, you know. There's a very soft, very nice soft effect. People, you will learn how to do photographs like these, if you wish, in next week, when we play around with some very wonderful apps. Don't jump the gun. Focus on what I'm asking you to do this week, and you will get to next week. You know, please don't worry about photographs like this. You will all be able to take if you wish. By the end of week 3, we'll be looking at photographs like this, and then the other 4 photographs in the 2 sides and the top and bottom are in color, and it's a softer style to what I'm used to from Thomas. So he's evolving. It's a cute one in the middle as well. This little sort of sticking out cute little lamp, almost a cheeky little lamp, isn't it? It's nice to give human characteristics to things which aren't. It looks like a cheeky little lamp sticking out there, almost insolent, and it's surrounded by 3 shapes. And again, I don't think this is a coincidence, you know, that you've got in the bottom right corner is filled in with this bit of an arc. The top of the frame, but slightly off to the right, has another arc, and filling in the bottom left corner and, you know, up the side there is yet another arc of a different style. So that's 3 arcs coming in from all 3 sides of the 4, and oh my goodness, there's a tiny sliver up in the top left, and I'm guessing that's not a coincidence either. Gives another little bit of interest to the top left there. So that's a cool one. And then he's playing around with these soft, they're both saturated and soft. Do you see what I mean? The colors are both saturated and there's a kind of softness to them. It's a very interesting technique that you've got there. This is a good example of that. I love this style. It's very close to mine in some ways, some of my photographs. And yet you've developed really a look of your own, Thomas. And, you know, keep taking those photographs every day. Keep developing your style. I'm absolutely loving it. Oh, look at the texture there that's come out in the wood. Funky angle. And completely drunk angle. Excellent, love it. So that's a good one to end on. I won't overdo it. Just wanted to tell me if you like this feature, and I'll do it again. You know, I don't have to do it, me rambling on about your photographs, but I thought instead of me, you know, maybe we could take the Saturday Zoom call for more direct questions instead of me just, you know, going through all your photographs, specific questions on specific topics, and I can cover these during the week. So I'm really happy with those. Really appreciate it. Trish, get yours in as soon as you can. She's taken them. She's just a bit overwhelmed with her horse thing. So Trish, get those in as quickly as possible. Dorothy, I'm looking forward to. I don't know if you've told me what you're going for, Dorothy, and but make it something new, please. And I'll come back to you now. So that was fun, wasn't it? And I will talk to you again soon. And thanks for watching. Bye, folks, and happy snapping. And I hope you're enjoying the this week's topics and this week's theme, which is color. So if you're doing it for the first time, choose one color. if you're doing it for the second or third time, choose another color, or choose two colors and do something with two colors. But beware of the fact that often less is more. Sorry, more is less. Maybe it works the other way, so does it? Yes. So be careful. Don't think, hey, I've done colors once or twice, I'm going to do several colors. No, it'll turn into a mess and you will lose the power of this exercise. The point is to practice here what you can then move on from afterwards. So get working with one color right now, and then you can apply it to any color. So I strongly recommend you simply choose another color, or feel free to choose two colors. But when you choose two colors, you have just complicated everything by two. You're not, it's a completely, almost a different topic. Getting two colors harmonious together, playing with the difference between them, it's almost a different topic to just photographing one color strongly. So, you know, feel free, if you're doing it for the first time, don't do that. Focus on one color and do your best. Doesn't mean you can't have other colors in the shots, but make it, when I look at those photographs of color, I think I said this in the training, or will do, the first thing I want to see, especially when I'm looking at your photographs as a collection, I've got to look at that collection from a distance and say, oh, they're red photos, oh, they're purple photos, oh, they're green photos, oh, they're all green. It's not always obvious when I look at a single photograph, because it might just be, you might just think, you know, okay, it's a whatever the green thing that you've got, you might think more that it's that. You know, if it's a tree, you might think it's a photo of a tree rather than it's a photograph of green. But when I see all of the photographs together and they're all green, then I'll start thinking, oh, the theme is green. Unless you give me 9 pictures or 4 pictures of trees, green trees, and then I'll think it's a theme of trees and not of green. Do you see what I mean? So it might be better to have different subjects, not all trees, for example. 9 different subjects, but they're all green. So I think you get the point. Okay, bye. Thanks, Thomas. Bye. Thanks, Mary. Glad you liked it. And yeah, let me know, folks, in the chat. Everybody, please let me know what you thought of this feature when you'll watch on the replay. Would you like me to do this again next week? And if I get like more than 50% saying yes, then I will. Have nice evenings or afternoons or mornings, folks, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.